Welcome, I'm Rhonda.
And I'm Jared.
This is Why Conversations, where we inspire,
engage,
uplift,
and motivate change around our lives.
Brought to you by YMCA of Delaware, Spark Studios. Welcome back to our wonderful listeners. Welcome to another enlightening episode of Why Conversations. It's me, Rhonda.
And it's me, Jared.
And today's episode is going to be great, Jared. I'm really excited about it.
There's something special. It's going to be a celebration of African American History Month and the profound impact that African Americans have had on the cultural landscape in America.
Right. Let me ask you this question. Why is Black History Month important to you?
Why are you always asking me the hard questions?
Because I feel like you can answer the hard questions.
Okay.
Three pop.
All right, here we go. For me, there's three things that are important as we think about the legacy of Black folks in this country. One is that Black history is American history, right?
Right.
And it's the often untold and forgotten stories of great people that shaped our culture and our country.
Right.
You know, I think about the three women in the movie Hidden Figures. Did you see the movie?
I love that movie.
I loved that movie. Who would have known?
Who would have known? And I'm always inspired by different women doing different things. And just the title of the movie, Hidden Figures.
Hidden Figures.
Like that in itself is huge.
I've been hiding for a long time.
Right.
So, you know, those three women, though, they did some great things. They put a man on the moon.
Amazing.
Put a man on the moon.
Because women are great.
Oh, they're great. Beautiful and majestic, sweet, kind, and all those things. Can I get you some chocolates today? Oh, yeah. Let the audience be known that I didn't bring her some fried chicken or collard greens this week, but I did bring her lots of chocolates. But let me get back to the topic of hand. Look, number two, right?
Right.
The first one is Black history, is American history. Number two is young people can't see what you can't be.
Right.
You have to be able to see what you aspire to be.
And that's true.
And there's so many stories of the legacy of heroes that kids and young people get to learn during the month of February.
Right.
And it inspires them to be that, right? And I'm not only talking about Black children, I'm talking about white children, I'm talking about Hispanic and Asian children. There's lots of folks who contributed to Black history in our country. And third and finally, we as a country have made a lot of progress. We've made a lot of progress, and we should celebrate that progress and not repeat the mistakes from the past. So those are three reasons why I think it's important.
And I think that's wonderful. And you know, after all that information that you just shared with me, and you gave me these nice chocolates that I appreciate, I'm going to call you the Professor of Truth. So from now on, we're going to get rid of the Tupac. Was it Tupac 3 or
3 Pac?
Okay,
come on now.
Tupac, we're going to get rid of that. And now you are named and deemed Professor Truth.
I like that. Professor. Just call me the professor. Well, let the professor tell you a little something about the Walnut Street Y. This YMCA has been the cornerstone of this community for over 85 years.
Wow.
85 years this Y has been serving this community. And this building actually was constructed by a gift by H. Fletcher Brown in 1940. Wow. Isn't that something?
That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't think that a lot of folks know that, that story, about that piece of our history. And that's to my point about you can't see what you can't be, what you can't see, right? There were lots of folks who contributed to the legacy of in the stories in Black history. So H. Fletcher Brown, 1940.
And it's good. And it's good to know that information. It's good to share that information. It's also good to have people who can attest to a lot of information, a lot of things that we aspire to be, things that in the past and things that are going forward now. So today we have special guests in the studio, and they're going to tell their personal stories about the Walnut Street YMCA. One of our guests' name is Miss Enid Wallace Sims. Another is Miss Anesha Law. And they're each a prominent figure in our community. And they're here to discuss the historical impact that the Walnut Street YMCA and the Black History Month has played in their lives, and the stories and the things that they can absolutely tell us and share with us. I'm excited. Hi, Miss Enid.
Hello. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Well, Miss Enid, thank you for being here, being on our show in Spark Studios.
You're quite welcome.
Oh yeah, we like to spark up a lot of conversations. Some people think of us as troublemakers, but we call ourselves truth tellers. Professor Truth.
Now you put me in the truth?
Yeah, you truth
Okay,
too.
I'm
You're
truth.
truth teller.
I appreciate that.
Miss Enid, could you tell us, share a little bit about the historical significance of this YMCA?
Well, I started coming to the Y at 5 years old.
Wow.
I took ballet and tap at this location and got in trouble at this location with my brother. It was 25 cents for both classes.
Wow.
And they even provided the shoes. You know, you came in, you got fitted,
Right.
and it was Ben's shoe store that used to be down at 2nd and King, I think, either King or French. And they actually donated the shoes for us to use for ballet and tap.
You can't even look at shoes for 25 cents today.
No.
Can't even look at them.
That's not even a shoestring.
No.
Shoestrings for 25.
But you got 2 for 1.
Yes, I did. 2 for 1. And everybody's amazed when I talk about it, when I say I took 2 classes. So you took the ballet class first, and they even had the mirrors on the wall and the little poles so we could put our legs up and do whatever. And we had a really professional ballet teacher. She was hard. I liked the tap better than the ballet because she would stretch you to no end in the ballet skill.
Well, that's why you look so great today.
Right.
So she was stretching you out for a long time.
Right.
She sure did. And then I took swimming class. I forgot about that. Miss Washam. Barbara Washam was my swimming teacher. But we kept trying to figure out how Miss Washam was teaching us how to swim, and she never got in the water.
That's called a good teacher.
Yeah, she was. Because we all learned how to swim, but she never got in the water.
Yeah.
We couldn't. We still to this day. I mean, she's past the,
I'm still trying to learn how to swim as Enid.
Well, you need to go and learn how to swim.
Okay.
Because it's good for you, and it hits all the muscles. When you're trying to lose weight, that's the best exercise.
You should see my feet. My feet are strong from swimming. I got strong feet and cute.
Wow.
You're like a duck.
Yeah. Oh. No, I didn't say
We done.
I just said I got cute feet. My wife said I got cute feet.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
From swimming, Miss.
We'll believe
Swimming.
that.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, Miss Enid, I understand that this used to be called the Colored Y.
It was the only Y that we could go to, and I have to say, when my mother was a teenager, she used to come here, and she actually took charm class and etiquette class here at the Walnut Street Y. She said they taught her how to sew. She had a sewing class. She used to make all my clothes when I was younger, dresses and all kinds of stuff. But she learned that here, and she went to Howard High School. And I have to tell you, on Friday nights, all of the students from Howard High School, I don't know how they fit in here because Howard High was the black high school. Initially, when she first started high school, busing happened a long time ago. They actually took a bus from Wilmington to Dover to Delaware State.
Wow.
And had high school down in Dover and came back to Wilmington.
Wow.
And then they built Howard because Wilmington High did not have African American students at all. So they built Howard for the African American community. And she said on Friday nights they go to that clock tower. They played 10 cent. They had a little card. I don't know when she told me that, I said, well, how many times could you go? You got this little card, and they punched a hole in your card, and you paid a dime, and you went so many times, and then you had to pay another dime. So I don't know whether it was 10 times or whether they just wanted to have, because they had snacks and stuff there, so it may have covered the cost of snacks. Because I know it surely didn't cover the operational fees for them to be in the Y.
Yeah. You know.
And then she went bowling.
Well, bowling.
Bowling was in the same spot downstairs where they had to dance.
Rhonda.
There's a bowling alley in the bottom of the Walnut Street Y.
They had tap.
Yeah.
They had jazz. You get a card. Seems like an unlimited card for 10 cents.
Right.
You get like 20 visits to the Y.
Right.
They had it going on.
I would still have loved to see the bowling alley.
Bowling alley was wonderful. Bowling alley was here until I was in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, they took it apart.
Now, I've heard you say that there used to be, probably in the space that we're sitting right now, I think there used to be rooms that
it was residential. So when my uncle was in the Army and his friends came back from, and he would be in his 90s now, almost 100. He passed away, but they would come back from the service, and some of the guys' parents may have been deceased or no longer had the residences where they could fit. Because, in the African American community, when you had a problem, everybody went back home.
Right.
Then wherever the space was, you went back home.
Yep.
So some of them didn't have space, so they came to the Walnut Street Y and rented a room, and this is where they lived.
Right.
And they did their jobs, and when they could spell ABLE, that's how they built Dunleaf. Dunleaf was built for veterans, for African American veterans when they came back. So all my friends that live in Dunleaf, and my uncle built a house there. They came to the Y.
Well, I know I don't get to ask you all the questions, but I do got to ask you a couple more questions. Okay, now. Your husband's name, Mr. Wonderful?
My husband's name is Mr. Wonderful, and his name is William Haley. He lived down the street from the Walnut Street Y, and he moved to Delaware from Beckley, West Virginia, when he was 8 years old. And they went to the Y until forever, because he didn't stop.
Right.
Now, did you meet your husband here?
I knew him when he was here, but I didn't date him.
You had your eyes on him, or he had his eyes on you?
Because he was on me.
Really?
Yeah, so I didn't have my eye on him.
Okay.
His brother was calmer.
Okay.
But neither one of them. The brother was a twin. So the twins came here, male and female, Gwendolyn and Glenn. They came here, and they went to the Y forever.
Yeah. So let me ask you, Miss Enid, how many men were able to be housed in this facility? Like how many?
You know what? I don't really know. I'd say 50 to 100.
Okay.
That would be my guesstimate. Is somewhere between 50 and 100. And they actually lived here, and they took care of the place. I mean, we didn't even have maintenance staff because the guys did their own cleaning and stuff.
Oh, wow. Now you can't get your young people in your house to clean nothing. Try to get your kids to clean their room. I don't got nobody to clean my house, they ain't cleaning nothing.
Were they paying anything when they were here?
I think they paid a small fee, but it wasn't a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't what today's market rate would be.
Right.
I mean, they paid $50 a month. That was good.
Okay.
Now, Rhonda, you've been wanting to ask Miss Enid this important question for weeks now that we've been thinking about this. Well, go ahead and ask her the question now that you're here. We here. Go ahead.
What's the important? You got to kind of help me along with it. Like,
you said she's the boss of me.
Oh, okay. So bringing it back to my remembrance. Okay. So one of the things is, and let me just say this. I'm very impressed. I'm very honored to be sitting next to you, just to feel your presence and your energy of the things that you've accomplished over your lifespan, right? So can you tell me, what position do you hold at the YMCA of Delaware? What is your position here?
It was a unique position. I was on the board. I know it had to be at least 7 or 8 years. And they asked me to become vice chair. Unbeknownst to me, vice chair automatically goes
Wow.
to become the chair. Look, if I read the bylaws correctly, I would have known that. I don't now.
Right.
But I became chair of the board. And I think I became chair of the board. And as I said before, I'm kind of a spiritual person. I can't tell you that I go to church every Sunday, but I'm a believer because my grandmother told me you don't have to be in the house of the Lord to praise His name.
Right.
You can do that from anywhere. Anywhere. So I'm still a member of Mount Juliet Church over South Bridge, but I have to say that I couldn't figure out. Said this to Jared. I said, you and I were put in this place for a very specific reason.
Of course.
And then when we started peeling back the onion and looking at those things that had impacted the Y over, I'm going to say, the past 8 years when I was on the board, we found out that a lot of things were missing, that morale was not really good,
right,
that we had alienated ourselves from the minority communities. And I think that's why, by divine intervention, Jared and I both ended up here at the same time, in the same place.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's powerful. As we celebrate Black History Month, let's just acknowledge that Mrs. Enid Wallace Sims is the first Black woman to chair the YMCA Delaware board. So we are very thankful for your leadership and the guidance.
Yeah, that's inspiring to me because I'm a Black woman, so I'm inspired by that.
Yeah, well, those are some powerful insights, and thank you for sharing your story. Now we got Miss Anesha Law with us today, and she's a community executive director.
Hello, how y'all doing?
Hi, Miss Anesha.
She's been ready. You see the way she jumped right in there? Hey, how y'all doing? She's ready. She's ready to go now. Okay, now here's your question then.
Okay.
How do you see Walnut Street continuing to make the great impact that Miss Wallace?
Yeah, well, I first want to say I too admire Miss Enid and her beautiful story and the impact that she's made on the city and this state. I can't go anywhere and nobody not know who Miss Enid is. You know, everybody knows who she is, and it's just an inspiration to be here at this table with you. And just to answer your question, Jared.
Her wedding was like going to the Grammys.
Oh, yeah, let me tell you, I had a good time. I was like, it was the who's who.
Delaware. The only person's wedding you can go, every legislator there.
Yeah. And look, I was there. I was just like, let me, get myself together, pull myself together. But it's just an honor to be with you and to just feed off your energy and just the history that you have. And just to answer Jared's question, I think where we're going with the Walnut Street YMCA is continuing that legacy and that mission. I hear stories all the time about what people's experience was here. And every story gives me chills. Right? Because I oftentimes have to pinch myself like, this place? Right. You had this experience here. And it also makes me think, what experience are we giving to the young people that come through the doors today? And so I'm very intentional about creating those core memories for our students, for our staff here. So for years down the road, they're able to say, this is the experience I had at the Walnut Street YMCA. I heard about the bowling alley. I heard about the amazing, the swim team, the basketball team, and just what that meant for people. I have a guy that calls me once a month at least, asking about the clock tower and is it fixed or the light being working, and so and it's so fun, and I love having those conversations with him because it just brings us back to reality. Like, this place is for the community. We come in here every day, we work hard, but this place is for the community. Goal of mine, the mission of mine is to make sure that the community knows this place is still here for them, and just how important it was. I actually met Mayor Seals a few years back. Mayor Seals was the first African-American mayor of the city of Wilmington. And he talked so profoundly of the Walnut Street YMCA as this being the pathway of him becoming who he was and how he lived here. He was a resident here. And how if it wasn't for the Y, he doesn't believe that he could have been the mayor. City, and his story from his children was just amazing. And like I said, we get that every day. And so it's important that we capture this history, retain it, and we're able to share it with our students that come here every day.
And that's really important. I get an honor every day to work underneath of you. You are my supervisor. So I appreciate you. I appreciate your vision that you absolutely have for this Walnut Street YMCA, creating the experiences for our children. Because you never know who's the next mayor that's going to be, that we're entertaining, that we're taking care of. Who's the next president of the United States of America. So we have a lot of influence, a lot of talent, that we can bring to the table to help our children get to the next level. So I appreciate being underneath of you, this vision that you have, just being authentic. So thank you, Miss Anesha, for that.
And the thing is that the team here, and I think we all get it. We get the why we here. We know what came before us, right? And what the goal is to keep it going, keep the momentum high. And I just love this place. It's just filled with so much history and culture that you feel it when you walk through the door. And I'm like, where am I? Sometimes I'm like, why am I? And like you can feel it just when you talk to people, when you talk to families, and that's the energy that you just can't replicate. I think that's the energy that lives here, and we build upon it.
Generations.
So, and you see it. Yeah, actually, we've had people. We've seen kids grow up here. We've seen people come back and talk about their experience in childcare, or they're able to name, drop director names. Like, this is a director who gave me my first job, or this is the person who did this, and if it wasn't for this person, I wouldn't know where I would be.
Right.
And those stories mean so much. I can listen to them all day.
Yeah, I have a important question. Can you still get tap and jazz for 25 cents?
No.
You can't. I mean, I'm like, can you get tap and jazz? Can you get a card at least 10 visits for 10 cents? Can you get that today?
No. But
tell them what we have, Miss Anesha.
There are resources in place for our families. We want to make sure that people are still able to utilize the YMCA. Things have changed over the years. Prices have changed. but we make it a priority to make sure that our families have access to the things that happen here and in the community. And we don't deny anyone anything. So if you need it, we're going to try to figure it out how to get
And that's why it's important for us to have the campaigns and to make sure that we have dollars in our endowment,
Right.
so that we can continue all of this good work.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that plug. Ooh,
I did too. That was smooth.
Yeah, that's dope. This is your last program. Can you just give us, like, what are some of the programs that run out of the Walnut Street YMCA, you know?
Absolutely. So I think a lot of people this is not your typical Y, right? Many people may think of your Y as your gym and swim, but this is a 100% youth development center, but also a community center, right? So we serve our preschool students. We have our 2 to 5 year olds. So we have preschool. We have before and after care for our school age students, as well as camp. We have teen programs that run throughout in the after school program. We also have weekend teen drop-in programs, as well as the Amazing Black Achievers program, where a lot of people have come through and, give back to the program as mentors, as volunteers. We even have the statewide youth and government program is housed here, where we get our students civically engaged, get them to learn how to advocate for themselves, present themselves. They work on their public speaking as well. We have swim lessons. We provide swim lessons for our community. We have swim classes. We also have a performing arts group, right? Where they travel up and down the East Coast, where they compete and they win a lot of awards.
Yes.
And they're always booked and busy.
Yes. Yes.
So we are really proud of them. And one of the things that we learned is the history of the Y, is how important the arts was to the Y. Sometimes when you walk down the hall, you can see how arts was a pillar here,
Because
and
Christina Cultural Arts Center was not even around during the early days of the YMCA. So everything was run at Walnut Street.
Wow.
and how we're able to continue that, right? And so one of the things that I'm most proud of is just making sure that this is one of those one-stop shops. You can get whatever you want here. You can send your kids here for childcare. Your kid could go to Girl Scouts. They can come out learning how to play drums.
But not tapping jazz.
Not
25 cents.
So, but
25 cents.
That's called almost everything. Don't say everything. Almost everything.
It's not. It's the price. You still have performing arts.
No, I
It's only the
stand.
price.
Hey, Rhonda, I stand corrected.
You know what? And I want to say this because I'm not the interviewer, right? But I do want to ask Miss Enid something. Just as someone who's grown up in this community, how proud of you as the Walnut Street YMCA? Like, where do you see? Is this the vision that you had for the Walnut Street YMCA?
I think it exceeds our vision, because when I look at, we got the 3D printers now. I participated as an adult for the Adult Achievers. Actually, I was steering committee chair for 8 years for the Black Achievers Adults program. And we see the educational value for the students coming in. We all had different jobs. And I told them I worked at Delmarva Power. They told me I read meters. But when I explained to them that we have jobs in every area, accountants, we have insurance, we have meter readers, we have engineers. So, explaining to those students and letting them see somebody that looked like them, and folks from Christiana Care, from DuPont. So the range of things that are happening at the Y really exceeds my expectation, because we're exposing people to things that I never got when I was younger, but they're getting it now and getting one-on-one and actually going to visit. Now you have visitation to the different locations for the jobs. So I think it's wonderful.
Well, thank y'all for being in here today, visiting with us. And the next
was
time you
amazing.
come, Anesha, don't come asking questions. That's me and
I'm
Rhonda's
sorry.
job.
I just had to get that one out.
That's our job.
That's what my mind is still turning. I got questions, but I know we don't have that much time.
This is Black History Month, and I forgot to give you a fact, and Anesha knows, but I am a direct descendant of Frederick Douglass.
Oh, wow.
My grandfather is great nephew of Frederick Douglass. So we have a family book that our great aunt, who worked on Roots with Alex Haley, she actually got the family book on the Matthew Bailey side, actually got it printed, and it shows the lineage of where we came into.
Well, thank you for sharing that fact.
Yeah,
And,
that's
you know, before we close out, let's just get my fact out there. I'm a descendant of Tupac. That's why they call me Tupac. I'm a descendant too. You know what I'm saying?
Now we just went from Tupac to Professor Truth, though. We're going to stick with that. So I appreciate that. This has been a wonderful segment, just enlightening of us, giving us information about our history, where we are now, where we're going, and how do we get there. I appreciate that, Miss Enid. You know, I am a word person. I looked up your name. Your name means spirit, light, and truth. I love that.
I love that
and
too.
sitting next to you, I feel the spirit.
Truth.
I see the light, and it's nothing but the truth coming from you. So we appreciate.
Make me want to sing a little bit.
Makes you want to sing. But,
Oh my.
I didn't know you could do that.
Okay.
So
calm down a little bit.
Thank you to you, Miss Anesha Law. Again, I get the esteemed pleasure of working underneath of you every single day. And then just sharing your insights of where we're going with this Walnut Street YMCA. Let me just say something really quickly. I know this is off the cuff, and that's just okay. But I get the esteemed pleasure of working here every single day. I am the auntie. I am the grandmom. I am the face of the front. So I literally don't take that lightly. I love engaging with our parents. I love engaging with the children, and then just seeing their faces when they're coming in, when they're leaving out, have a great day. When they're coming in, I'm glad you came back. And I think that's really important as we address our kids, to let them know that while you were going, I was thinking of you. And when you came back, I'm glad that you were here safe. So our history is contingent upon them returning and being who they are. So, and we have just that little thing, good morning, have a great weekend, have a great day. It's important for those little things to be initiated in their lives so they can literally move forward. You may think it's small, but to them it might be huge because you don't know where they're coming from or what they're getting at home. So I want to say thank you to each one of you for coming out today and sharing your stories. We really appreciate it. Jared, this is it. This is the end of the segment.
This is just the beginning. Right?
The beginning,
There was
right.
too many wise words you heard to let it percolate inside you.
Right.
Be inspired for action.
Right. So with that in mind, we're going to end this segment, and we appreciate everyone who's tuned in and listening. Stay tuned for our next episode that's going to be coming up. And we're just going to continue to be a source of inspiration and inspire you guys to tune in every single time that we're on the mic.
Yeah.
I'm Rhonda, rocking the mic, and
Professor Truth.
Right. Welcome, I'm Rhonda.
And I'm Jared.
This is Why Conversations, where we inspire,
engage,
uplift,
and motivate change around our whys.
Brought to you by YMCA of Delaware, Spark Studios.